We're pleased to welcome now John McKay. He's the president and CEO of the Mississippi Manufacturers Association. John, always good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gerard.
So this looks like a well-attended event, and as I have observed with everyone that's been on, there's a bunch of smart people in here, aren't there?
You know, I was in the room earlier listening to a panel, and it was essentially three aerospace engineers up there, and it was very interesting. But man, they are sometimes over my head.
It's awesome, though. It's awesome. So the best part about this, in my view, and of course your organization, your members play a key role in this, is it's so good to see the public, the private sector, the education community and industry working together towards common goals. It wasn't always that way.
No, that's absolutely right. And it's not like it's a secret to the success, but that is the successful model. You have to get all of those key players to really push in the same direction. And you know, that's what we're seeing, especially in this defense and aerospace sector right now in Mississippi, and especially in South Mississippi, is the private sector money, that venture capital that is looking for quality investments. They see this as the model, and they see Mississippi is really doing something innovative with the key infrastructure we already have in place with Keesler and Stennis and all of the other assets of Mississippi. It's just primed to make those key investments now, and the trajectory we're on, you could really see some tremendous growth in the next 5 years.
And I think you would agree. We have to recognize that to a great extent that's because our political leaders and our education institutions are willing to work and cooperate with the private sector. You don't get that out of all elected leaders. You know that.
100%. You had a representative from Andrel that was on a panel earlier, and he specifically said that. He said the reason we're in Mississippi, the reason that we've grown from a small operation in South Mississippi to what will be almost a 300 head count next year is the ease of doing business in Mississippi. That our policy leaders in this state recognize what it takes to grow and nurture a business. And in this space, that is key. I mean, all of the things they have to deal with on the regulatory side, I mean, can you imagine what
especially at the federal level,
yes.
right?
Already at the federal level, and then you add a state like California on top.
Unbelievable.
You just can't be successful, and that's really why they've chosen Mississippi.
And over again, we hear whenever we secure these big investments in Mississippi across the industry spectrum, hey, we're here because of the ease of doing business and the speed to market. The governor likes to talk about that all the time, and he's absolutely right, because time is money, and the more time it takes you to get that investment to work, to produce a return, the more expensive it is, and it gets to the point where it's not even viable.
Absolutely, and I mean, you were just talking to Trey at Accelerate Mississippi, and that's another key component, whereas in other states you have these levels of bureaucracy that make it more difficult. Here, we bring everybody to the table and say, hey, what do you need? How can we help? Where can we plug in? We want to make it easier for you. So if you have a workforce need, we've got a plan for that. We've got the training partners that not only have the resources, but they're ready to go. And all we got to do is make a plan. I mean, those are the key factors for a lot of these companies.
I think also it's fair to say in some other states with a different persuasion of leadership, they see the private sector as the enemy. They see corporations as the bad guys, and all they talk about is how they exploit workers and buyers and consumers and the community in general. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, I mean, those states see the private sector as a meal ticket
exactly.
to pay for these other programs that, quite frankly, don't move the needle in a positive direction. And Mississippi has just said, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to invest in the key areas that grow the economy, and all this other stuff, we're going to let the private sector do what it does best.
Yeah, and so we're blessed in that respect. I think what we're starting to see is that big-time payoff.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's really the difference. Let's talk about the manufacturing industry, a key critical industry, number two, right, in of the various industry categories in the state.
Yes, and you know, obviously agriculture is a huge piece of the equation in Mississippi, but yeah, as far as private sector non-ag entities, manufacturing is at the top of the list. I think the last numbers that I get the the monthly or quarterly reports from Employment Security, I think we were right around 150,000, just south of 150,000 direct employees in manufacturing, which is a great result. But I mentioned it when I was speaking to the audience earlier. One of the things that you have to recognize with manufacturing is you should actually expect those numbers to trend downward.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of factors involved there, but just the nature of manufacturing and modern manufacturing is the pace of automation, the integration of AI into virtually everything now.
Sure.
That's all going to not only increase productivity, but it's not going to require as many people, but the people that we need to have different and better skills.
Yeah.
And that's such a key thing. And that's why I was talking with Trey on a panel earlier about how Accelerate Mississippi is really going to drive that trend going forward.
The governor rightfully likes to boast about tremendous GDP growth and GDP per capita growth we experienced in the last calendar year, 2024, second in the nation in both categories. And when you look underneath the covers there, you find that to a great extent driven by the expansion of manufacturing in the state.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm by virtue of my appointment by Governor Reeves, I'm the vice chair of the State Workforce Investment Board. And so Chairman Patrick Sullivan and I work closely on these issues. And I'll never forget one of the first meetings with Governor Reeves is he was adamant that everything that we did needed to drive an increase in household income in Mississippi, and the only way to do that is increase the skills and the training, and he has done it. And those numbers are things that we look at, that we track, and we measure ourselves by, and everything that we do has to go through that lens. And I think that was really a smart way to tackle. There's a lot of metrics that you can look at, and they're all important, but having more money in your paycheck every week, every month, that is something that changes people's lives.
No substitute for it.
That's right.
Schools are better, roads and bridges are better, less crime, more opportunity, brain drain. You just go down the list.
That's it.
Everything is better when those household incomes are rising. And I think you would agree, there ain't no law we're going to pass in the Capitol to make that happen.
No,
that's not going to happen. But what we can do is create an environment that's conducive to business growth and expansion.
And we have to, on the policy side, we have to create some uncomfortability.
That's right.
We can't keep doing it the way we've always done it. And for the most part, I think our partners and everybody involved in this space has really seen the need to go down these roads, and we're really moving the needle at this point.
I think so as well. All right, so anything on your radar for the upcoming legislative session?
Well, there's a lot of issues. We are actively exploring some of those. I mean, obviously, we're going to be involved in workforce development. We've got a few things that we're going to be promoting on that side. Transportation infrastructure is always key. As well as anybody that education and school choice discussions are ongoing.
Yep.
And, for me personally, as we've talked about, we're going through the transition of merging MMA and the MEC into the Mississippi Business Alliance. And so we're actively working through how we come out with our legislative agenda on a pretty quick turnaround with this. We're 2 weeks in on the merger. So, we're actively talking to our new leadership and really getting all of the things in place for that. So really looking forward to that. That's an exciting opportunity to combine all economic sectors under one business group.
Can't get through a day, John, without talking about tariffs or tariffs being in the news. It's incredibly volatile. What do you remember saying?
Well, I actually just submitted a letter to Secretary Lutnick on the specific tariffs on some furniture manufacturing equipment. And so myself, the North Carolina Manufacturers Group, and the Wisconsin Manufacturers Group all signed a letter detailing some of the issues. If you say that we need to bring back domestic manufacturing, I am all on board and I am your partner. But if you say that we're going to tax and make more expensive the equipment that is needed to make that happen, and it's only produced outside the United States, we need to just have a plan to address that situation. I understand that we want to bring everything back, but we might have to look at a staged approach or some exemptions in certain areas. So in general, our members are supportive of the theory behind some of the tariff discussion, but we really just need to pay attention to the implementation in how we go about certain products that don't have a domestic supply chain.
That's a good point. A lot of moving parts.
It's very complicated.
Yeah,
So
I understand. Howard Lutnick, of course, Commerce Secretary.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we are certainly proud of the manufacturing industry in our state and all the work you guys do, and the merger's going good. We got just a few seconds left.
Yeah, no, it's going great, but yeah, manufacturing is driving this economy, and we continue to see progress in that area, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
John McKay, he's the president and CEO of the Mississippi Manufacturers Association. We're down at the Mississippi Aerospace Defense Symposium at the Golden Nugget in Biloxi. We got the final segment coming up next. Stay with us.